Everyone. Today we will discuss about the cyclones. Okay, cyclone. It is one of the major disasters which our country faces, along with other disasters like several other disasters are there like earthquake. Okay, earthquake, then tsunami, then we have landslides. Okay, then we have forest fires. Okay, then we have floods and droughts. Okay, then we also have things like heat wave. Okay, these are all different disasters which our country recurrently or continuously faces. Okay, so as part of disaster management, today we are going to study about the cyclones. Apart from that, you remember that you also have to study about all these disasters. These are very important from the point of view of examination. Okay, UPSC examination, especially you can expect a question on the disasters from the in the UPSC mains examination in GS paper 3. Okay, all right. So today we will discuss about the cyclone. You know very well, India has a vast coastline. To be precise, India is having approximately 7,516 kilometers of vast coastline. If you take India, okay. So on the both sides, this is the western coast, okay, and this is the eastern coast. So on both the sides, India is vulnerable for cyclones. So every year you will see 3 to 4 major cyclones that will cross over the coast of India and create lot of damage. Okay, comparatively, the number of cyclones in Bay of Bengal or towards the eastern coast are more, and the number of cyclones and their intensity is also little bit less in Arabian Sea. Okay, but however, because of the anthropological reasons, climate change, etc., the intensity and number of cyclones in Arabian Sea also increasing. That you will study in climate change, etc. Environment and climate change. When we discuss that, we will see that why the number of cyclones are also increasing in Arabian Sea. Okay, so if you see the cyclone prone regions here in the western coast, starting from Gujarat, okay, then we have Maharashtra, okay, then we have Karnataka. Though Karnataka, due to geographical reasons, it faces lesser number of cyclones. Either they go to Gujarat because of the terrain and the the angle of the coastal line, the shape of the coastal line, and Kerala also sees relatively high number of uh, Kerala also sees high number of cyclones. Okay, these states generally, Karnataka and Maharashtra, they do not see much more many cyclones. Especially either Kerala faces the severity or the Gujarat when it comes to Gujarat, southern coast. In eastern coast, as I already told, the number of cyclones that occur is are also high, and the intensity of the cyclones is also very high. Means they cause lot of damage in the eastern coast. So states like Tamil Nadu, then we have coastal Andhra Pradesh, okay, then we have Odisha, then we have West Bengal, along with Bangladesh. Bangladesh also, along with India, faces severe cyclonic attacks. Damage is very high. So basically, these are the states. All the states: West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. Historically, they have suffered a lot due to cyclones, and they continue to suffer. Okay. So in this way, if you see entire India, the entire coastline of 7,500 kilometers, it is prone to cyclones, and we should not forget the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands. They also face severe cyclones. Okay, then briefly Now and then the Lakshadweep or Lakadweep, they also witness few of the cyclones. Okay, so if you see India's map, this is the vulnerable areas. These are the vulnerable areas for the cyclones in our country. All in all, we can say approximately 18 to 20% of our land area or land mass is prone to or vulnerable to the cyclones. So approximately 18 to 20% of our country's landmass is prone to disasters. Okay, so you remember different sources will give different figures. Some sources are saying that it is approximately 11 to 12%, but you try to follow the standard figures given by the NDMA. When it comes to disasters and disaster management, NDMA plays very important role, and you try to follow the guidelines. We are going to study the guidelines given by NDMA for management of cyclones, and it also gives several lot of information about the disasters that our country is facing, the area, percentage of area prone to disasters, etc. All this information you try to collect. Okay, so this is a brief introduction about the cyclones, which is causing damage or which is a major disaster that our country is facing. Okay, we can say it is one of the major disasters along with earthquake, okay, floods, and forest fires, landslides. This is also one of the important disasters our country is facing. Right? Right. So this is a brief introduction about the disasters. Now we will try and understand what actually a cyclone is. Okay, what actually a cyclone is, or in other words, we will try and understand structure of the cyclone, okay, or formation of the cyclone. Okay, so remember, this is not a we are not discussing cyclone in geography. We are discussing cyclone as part of disaster management. So here you need not worry about all the structural aspects of cyclone, how it is formed, what are the conditions that should be there for formation of a cyclone, etc. But still, I will try to explain briefly how the cyclone is formed and how it moves and how it propagates and how it causes disaster. So briefly we will understand the structure of the cyclone, then we will go to the impact of the cyclone, then what are the measures we should take for controlling or reducing the damage that is being caused by the cyclones. Okay, so structure of the cyclone, if you try to understand, there should be a low pressure area. There should be a low pressure area on open seas. Okay, so open seas are like Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea. These are called as open seas. Open seas. So if we take, this is India, right? Here Bay of Bengal is there. Okay, so in some area there should be a low pressure area. Okay, so let's imagine here low pressure area is there. So how low pressure area is formed? Generally low pressure area is formed like this. How? Okay, sun will be there. So and daytime sun will be beating. So this area gets heated. Surface of the ocean gets heated, and air that is there above this ocean surface, it will also get heated because of the radiation and sun. And when the air gets heated, its density will get reduced. Its density will get reduced. Then this heated air, as you know very well, it moves forward. Okay, sorry, it moves above or it moves upwards because of its less density or less weight. Okay, so here what is happening, the total quantity of air that is present on this ocean surface, it is reduced. Okay, so to fill this low pressure area, so we have understood how this low pressure area is being created because of the beating of the sun or because of the radiation of the sun, the air has heated up, and it is moved upwards. Okay, the air moved upwards. So because of that, the total quantity or the amount of air that is there on that place or at that place, it has got reduced. So to fill that low pressure area, air from all the directions, okay, it will move towards that low pressure area. In another words, air from high pressure areas, air from high pressure areas will move towards this low pressure area region. Okay, this will happen or not? This happens generally. Okay, so what happens, all of a sudden from all the direction, air is moving towards one point, okay, towards this low pressure area. So they will try to oppose each other or cancel each other. Okay, in this way the low pressure area will remain like this, and air starts moving in clockwise direction in the northern hemisphere. I am explaining this with respect to northern hemisphere. Okay, the movement is or circulation is anti-clockwise in southern hemisphere. Okay, that we will also see why in southern hemisphere the circulation is anti-clockwise and why it is clockwise in northern hemisphere. Okay, so why the rotation has been actually started, because air from all the directions it is trying to collide, and instead of settling at this low pressure area, because of blowing of air from all the directions, it will try to cancel each other and they will get a circulation like this. Okay, so in northern hemisphere, you take, this is the globe. Okay, this is the north pole, this is the south pole, this is the equator. Okay, so what happens, because of the earth moves from west to east, or earth revolves on its axis, it takes approximately 24 hours to complete a rotation around itself. Okay, this is the axis. So because of this movement, what happens, a force called Coriolis force is generated. Coriolis force is generated. Coriolis force is generated. What is the purpose of this Coriolis force? Whatever that is moving in the northern hemisphere, let's say a thing is moving in this direction, or let's take the example of air itself. Air is moving in this direction. So the Coriolis force will try to deflect it towards the right direction. Okay, the Coriolis force make this air to deflect towards its right direction. Okay, so that is called as Coriolis force. Okay, let's say air is moving in this direction. Okay, the Coriolis force will make it to deflect to right side of it, that is we can also call it as clockwise direction. Okay, generally this force is generated because of the at the equator, earth is a complete bulge. Okay, there is huge distance from the core of the earth to the surface of the earth, so the amount of bulge is there. Okay, because of that, at the equator the Coriolis force is zero. Okay, there is no Coriolis force. Okay, but as you move forward from equator towards the polewards, the force or strength of the Coriolis force also keeps on increasing. So the Coriolis force at the poles is highest. Okay, so poles is Coriolis force at the poles is highest. Okay, that's why you will not see until 5-degree latitude there will be both sides, on northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere there are no cyclones. Okay, why there are no cyclones? Because the force which is giving direction to the cyclone, that is not present at the equator. So that's why, and until 5 degrees also it is very weak, so it do not have the strength of creating a cyclonic system. So that's why between 5-degree north and 5-degree south you will not see the cyclones. Also after 30 to 35 degree Also you will not see cyclones. Okay, tropical cyclones you won't see. Maybe after 35 degree you will understand why there will be no cyclones after 35 degree north or 35 degree south. Also you will study that in geography. Okay, so now the point is, because of this Coriolis force, what is the direction this cyclonic system will get? What is the direction the cyclonic system will get? So the air that is moving or coming down from the northern direction, so it will, okay, it will be deflected to its right. So it will go like this. It will go like this. The air that is blowing, that will be deflected like this. So in this way, a circular system will be created where wind is rapidly surrounding uh, around the low pressure area. Okay, so this is called as cyclonic system. Okay, and to sustain this system continuously, the heat that is there in the water, ocean water, that will be supplied in the form of water vapor. Okay, water vapor. The system, the water, water vapor be supplied to this system. In that way, heat is being conveyed to the system. So this system continues for days together. Once it is created, it continues to stay days together. Okay, after that, what happens? Wind from a particular area, okay, from this direction, okay, or from this direction, or from this direction, from any direction, it may get weakened. Okay, the wind pressure or force of the wind may get reduced. So from which side? From the side where the pressure or the force of the wind is being reduced, this entire system will keep on moving in that direction, because these winds from this side or this direction are much more powerful. So that's why they will try to push this system, this low pressure system, towards this direction. So let's say India is present here. So what will happen? So somewhere after, maybe after 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, they will touch the coast. This system will come and touch the coast, and once it crosses the coast, it enters into the land area. Okay, the phenomenon when it crosses the coast, that is called as, it has a special name, that is landfall. Okay, landfall of the cyclone. Okay, so once it crosses the coast, the system gets weakened, because whatever the water vapor that is being supplied and whatever the heat that is being supplied to the system, that will be no longer there, because there is no ocean at the bottom of it. Okay, so this cyclone makes a landfall, and in the coastal areas, it wreaks havoc in the form of strong winds, then heavy rainfall. Okay, heavy rainfall, and phenomenon like storm surge. Okay, so I will explain, don't worry, what are these words, what is the we will try and discuss about each and everything, the damage that is being created by the cyclone. So this is the way generally the cyclone, the occurrence of cyclone, and how it creates damage to the coastal area. Okay, so this particular thing where around which the air is circulating, that is called as eye of the cyclone. Okay, eye of the cyclone. And this wall, from where the actually air pressure is building, that is called as cyclone wall. Cyclone wall. Okay, so basically this is the system. One more thing you have to remember is, this is not exactly happening on the surface of the ocean. So let's say this is the ocean surface, some kilometers above, maybe 1 kilometer to 2 kilometers above, 1 to 3 kilometers above, the entire system of cyclone will be formed. Okay, right. So from here, the required heat and the water moisture that is being supplied from the ocean surface. Okay, and this system keeps on moving towards a particular area. It can move in any direction. Generally, it will move in the direction where the forces of the wind are comparatively less. Okay, right. So briefly, this is about the cyclone and its structure, its formation structure, and the movement of the cyclone. Okay, right. Now briefly we will see the impact of cyclone. Okay, Now we will briefly see the impact of cyclone. Right. Impact. Okay. First of all, there will be heavy rainfall. Okay. Heavy rainfall. You might have seen when you studied or have seen news in TV or newspaper about the occurrence of cyclone. It will be accompanied by huge and huge rainfall, like downpouring, complete downpouring. Because of this, coastal areas will be inundated. Okay, but then there will be strong winds. Okay, the winds generally flow from 120 kilometers to 150 kilometers per hour speed. Okay, you can imagine if wind is blowing with this speed, what will happen to the infrastructure that is present there. Okay, maybe tall buildings and structures, the telephone towers. Okay, then electricity poles, you can imagine what will happen to all this infrastructure. If you see the photos after the occurrence of a cyclone, if you see the photos image or images of the cyclone, it's a devastation. You will find roads being cut down, electricity lines will be they will be brought down, telephone towers will be collapsed, so many animal will be dead, many people, some people also lost their lives, then houses will be collapsing. Okay, in this way it will create huge damage. Why it is happening? Because it is because of the strong winds that blow as part of the cyclone, then heavy rainfall. Along with that, there is a third phenomenon, that is storm surge. Okay, so what will happen as this system moves towards the coast? The height of the coast will increase, or height of the water will increase because of the force of the air, and it will be, height can be seen in the form of waves, high waves we can see. And what they will do, increase the sea level or heightened waves, they will fall on the coastline, and while going back they will drag everything that is there in the coastal areas. So with the storm surge also, there will be huge damage to the infrastructure like roads, houses, small shops, etc. All these things will be destroyed because of the storm surge. Okay, so these are the phenomenon or damage. This is the damage caused by the cyclone. So because of this impact, I have told, there will be damage to infrastructure, there will be damage to houses, and lives of the people will be lost in the cyclones. Then there is huge damage to property. Okay, and there are ecological damage or environmental damage. Forest cover will be removed, etc. Because of the delusion, beaches will be destroyed. Okay, and wildlife living in this area, that will also be killed. Okay, in this way there is huge scale damage to ecological with respect to ecology also. Then there is impact on livelihood of the people. Okay, in coastal areas many people will be, in rural areas people will be cultivating certain crops. Okay, then some people will be doing producing salt. So during, because of the cyclones, all these things will be destroyed. In urban areas, tourism will be there. In coastal areas, okay, beaches are very very famous, certain beaches are very famous. Tourists will be coming into those beaches, and several people, they will be running small businesses in this area, and they will lose their livelihood because of the cyclone, because everything will be damaged, tourists will not come, and it becomes for these people to survive. Okay, apart from that, there are several humanitarian issues like people are losing their property. Some people's households have died, children, offspring, even parents. For some children, their parents are dead in the cyclone. So then there will be lack of food and shelter during the cyclone and immediately after the cyclones. Okay, then there will be spread of diseases. Okay, like diseases based on drinking water and food, like typhoid, cholera, etc. All these diseases will spread. Okay, people have to leave their homes or their homes have destroyed and they have to take shelter somewhere else. Okay, they have to leave their native place. In this way, it is a big humanitarian issue. Okay, so this is the damage or impact of the cyclone. Okay, right. So now we have understood the damage that is being created by the cyclone. Now we will try and understand what measures we can take to control the cyclone. You remember, it's very difficult. Okay, you remember, we cannot completely prevent the cyclone. That is impossible. Okay, it is a natural phenomena. Cyclone is a natural occurrence. We cannot completely prevent it. Okay, we have to face the cyclone, but if we take proper measures, okay, if we make proper measures and precautions, okay, and we reduce our interference in ecological aspects in coastal areas, we can reduce the damage that is being created by the cyclone. Now we will try and understand how we can control that. Okay, so measures to control cyclone. One thing is, first, the developmental activities. Okay, it's better not to develop any infrastructure or any hotels, okay, or any commercial activity where in coastal areas, where especially they are prone to cyclones. Okay, so we should be mindful of our developmental activities. We should not, it's better if we are not building anything, especially the permanent structures near the coast where the coast is prone to cyclones. Okay, so including the houses. So we should be wary of building houses near the coast. This should be one thing. And second thing is, we should build shelter belts. Okay, what is the meaning of shelter belts? Shelter belt is nothing but, let's say if this is the ocean, okay, and this is the coast, okay, and this is the coast, and this is a residential area. Okay, residential area. So across the coast, what we have to do? We have to build several rows of trees. Okay, several rows of trees we have to build across the entire coast where there is lot of prone to which are the coast which is prone to lot of cyclones. So what will happen with this shelter belts? Shelter belts, you do not worry or frightened with the word of the meaning of shelter belt. They are rows of trees which have the capability of slowing down the speed of the wind and reducing the surges, storm surges, increasing the level of water. And if water is entering the coastal area, residential area, trees will reduce their impact. Okay, they will push back the water. Okay, and whatever the winds that are blowing, they will be deflected upwards because of the presence of tree. So what happens, even after this, if the air is coming down, okay, most of the air will go like this, but even some air is coming down, the speed of this air will be drastically reduced. Okay, that is the advantage of building of shelter belts in cyclone prone areas. This is a very simple but very strong measure we can take to prevent the impact of cyclone. Okay, this is one measure. In urban areas, apart from that, we can build retention walls or coastal walls where, let's say in urban cities, this is the ocean and this is a residential area. So we do not have much space to even build the rows of the trees also. So what we can do then, we have to build a big wall. Okay, big wall between the ocean and the residential area to prevent the entrance of ocean water during the cyclones. So at least what we can do here, we can prevent the storm surge. Okay, this thing we have to do, right? Another measures are there, like we have to prevent the entering of water, or we have to break down the water. Let's say waves are coming like this, we can build structures in a way which have the capacity of breaking the water entrance. So if you build structures like this, the water will enter here and it will its force will be declined if you are building structures like this. If you go to coastal areas, you will see these kind of structures. These are basically designed and built for reducing the entrance of water into the residential areas and prevent the force of water that is being which is generated during the cyclones. Okay, so we can build this coastal walls which can prevent the storm surges and other engineering structure which have the capacity of preventing the force of the water. Okay, apart from that, what are the measures we can take? That is early warning. Okay, so by using the satellite technology, communication satellites are there, weather satellites are there. Okay, and by using them, we have to warn people in advance, so that okay, cyclone is coming, you better vacate from your place and go to a safer place. Okay, so alerts plays an important role in this. You might be hearing a yellow alert, orange alert, red alert will be regularly issued to the people who are residing in coastal areas whenever there is occurrence of a cyclone, right? Then what we can do is we can build cyclone shelters. Cyclone shelters along the coastal areas where people can take shelter during the cyclones. So the structure of the cyclone shall be like this. Generally it will be like this. Okay, so if you take the cyclone, this is the ground. So on the ground pillars will be there. Okay, and on the from the first floor onwards they will start constructing the place to keep the people during the time of cyclones. Okay, so let's say if there is a cyclone and water has entered the coastal area, these are the pillars of a building. This is a building. Okay, and there will be a stairwell or step to go into this building. Okay, so if we are leaving this ground floor area vacant, so water can freely enter here and it can go back. Okay, water can freely enter and go back, so no damage will be done. People can remain safe in this area, in the first floor and second floor. Generally, if you see the images, the shape of or structure of the cyclone center will be like this. Okay, so central government has released several times funds to the coastal areas like Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Tamil Nadu to construct the cyclone shelters during the periods, to take shelter during the period of cyclones. Okay, this is another thing we can take, and early warning system also plays an important role. Apart from that, general measures like afforestation, increasing the forest cover in coastal areas, or not venturing into the or not interfering in the environmental aspects like global warming, climate change. Rising the average global temperature is also playing an important role in occurrence of many more number of cyclones because of the increase in the temperature. Okay, basically, so we should focus on broadly. We should focus on this aspect also, that is global warming. So briefly, these are the measures that we can take to prevent or reduce the impact of cyclones. Okay, right, you remember these few measures. Then after that we have disaster management guidelines issued by NDMA. Okay, NDMA is nothing but National Disaster Management Authority. In simple words, it is the supreme body, okay, created under National Disaster Management Act of 2005 to take care of all the disasters that are occurring in our body. So its chairman is the Prime Minister himself. Okay, so with respect to management of disaster, this is the highest body and it has issued guidelines for each and every disaster, how it should be managed in all the stages. Okay, so there are few guidelines are there. There are like most of the guidelines are in accordance with the measures that we have to take. However, they have been put in a different language. So first is the guidelines we'll talk about. First is preparedness. Okay, what is the meaning of preparedness? We have to prepare the hazard map. Okay, hazard map of coastal areas, the coastal areas which are very prone to cyclone disaster, that is cyclone. Then we have to create, once the hazard plan is prepared, then we have to create infrastructure, okay, which can withstand the cyclone, so that whenever there is occurrence of cyclone, we can provide or we can respond to that cyclone. So infrastructure in the form of hospitals, okay. So hospitals, people will be injured, some people will be injured, some people will be facing threat to their life, then some people will be fall prey to the exposure of communicable diseases after the cyclone. So to take care of all those people, we need hospitals, and we need communication lines, okay, to communicate and contact with these people. So like this infrastructure we have to build. Into this, the cyclone shelters will also come, okay. So we have to develop infrastructure, and NDMA guidelines also stress on early warning system, okay, early warning system. So NDMA guidelines say that we should build early warning system so that we can propagate or warn the people at the right time, so that they can escape the wrath of the cyclone. So in this way, similarly, we have a cyclone warning system, okay, cyclone warning system under the IMD, Indian Meteorological Department. So it keeps on, it finds out the occurrence of cyclone, and it keeps on warning the people, okay. So under the IMD itself, we have an early warning system that is developed, okay. And then afterwards, it will talk about training, okay, training both the people who respond to this disaster whenever there is occurrence of cyclone. So there are special forces like NDRF, National Disaster Response Force, and other government servants, public servants, NGOs, how they have to respond. There will be training for the responders also, and there will be training for common people also, people who are prone to or living in coastal area where cyclone can occur. So people can be trained with the drills, okay, drills of cyclones. So what are the 1, 2, 3 steps we have to take, or people have to take whenever there is actual occurrence of cyclone. So in this way, through drills, people also have to be trained. And the last one is international cooperation. We have to cooperate with other countries who are also facing cyclones, like Japan, like Australia, like Malaysia, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, and all these countries should come together, especially countries which are staying in one region, and they have to share their knowledge, okay, and share information so that they can better manage the disasters like cyclones. Okay, broadly these are the 4 to 5 things the NDMA guidelines will also mention. Okay, so you remember this area NDMA guidelines because previously there was a particular question on NDMA guidelines. A disaster has been given and it is asked that what are the NDMA guidelines for management of that particular disaster. Okay, so you try to remember the NDMA guidelines. You also try to remember the measures that we have to take to reduce the impact of the cyclone, and then you remember the impact, then you remember the structure and propagation of the cyclone, okay, and India's vulnerability to cyclones, okay. So all these areas you try to remember, okay. So we will stop here with the another topic. We will meet next time, okay. Until then, have a good time. See you next.